Okay.
Hi, everybody. Hi, so nice to see you all. I'm gonna wait 2 minutes. So while we're waiting, as people hop on, tell me if you're using a map, what paper you're using. And if you're using a map, where is it from? In the chat. We're going to have a lot of people today, so we're going to stay muted. You could also turn your video off. We'll come on at the end to show off what we made. So Mary has a map from Italy. Jennifer has a world map. Botswana. Wow.
Ooh.
North Boston. Oh, they're going fast. San Francisco. The paper size is 3 inches by 24 inches. And Lori, drop the materials list or the things into the chat. If you signed up for this, you should have, the links. You should have received, there was a materials list and a page.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hawaii,
okay, I see the template and materials. Okay.
Yeah, the first, there's no template. Sorry, that was
okay.
It's just materials.
Okay.
Canada, New Hampshire. Okay, I'm just going to wait a few more seconds, half a minute, while people are hopping on.
This is a big turnout, Helen.
Yeah.
Don't scare you.
Helen's
a pro. She's going to do a beautiful meeting.
Okay. Yeah, so fun. Thanks everyone for coming. We're typing in the chat where our map strip is from if you're folding a map strip. And yeah, I'm going to get started.
Okay.
So
okay, I'm going to.
So Lori, who you hear in the background, Lori is my technical assistant. So she'll be monitoring the chat and helping me out here. And we're all going to stay muted. Do we need to do a mute thing, or you think we're okay?
No, I've got everybody muted except you. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. And so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a short presentation about the paper year, my membership program. So I'll screen share and show you a few slides. That'll be brief. And then I'll answer any questions you have about the paper year in case you're thinking of joining. And then we'll make the faceted map ring. I'm actually wearing a variation on this project. So if I forget to talk about it, remind me. Because this is a big thing, the paper year. I love tangents and people going off in different directions and projects that are open-ended. And then we'll wrap up, we'll come back, we'll show what we've made, and we'll do a couple of screen capture photos so that I have a little bit of documentation of what everybody made. And maybe we'll have time for a few individuals to show what they made as well. And at any time after the meeting, I'd love for you to post on Instagram and tag me, Helen Hebert, and or the paper year, so that more people see what you made. Okay, so and you're welcome to type into the chat at any time if you have a question, and Lori will be watching for that. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, if I can find my menu, where is it? Okay. Is someone else sharing their screen? It's saying one participant can share at a time. Why would that be? Oh, wait, I got it now. Okay. Okay. So again, if you're just hopping on, I'm talking about the paper year, my membership program, just for a couple of minutes, and then we'll jump into the project. So here's what we're making. It's not advancing. Ugh.
You used your keyboard, I think.
Yeah, I have that. Can you stop the share and I'll try again?
Yeah.
I lost access to anything.
Okay.
Okay, let me try again. Share screen. Okay, play slideshow. All right, yay. So for those of you who don't know me, I run a paper making studio high up in Colorado's Rocky Mountains, about 2 hours up into the mountains from Denver, near Vail and Beaver Creek ski resorts. And this picture on the right shows my studio during my annual Red Cliff Paper Retreat. I have a retreat here in August every year. And if you're interested in that, I have some openings still coming for this year. Shoot. I'm sorry, this is not advancing again. Dang it.
Are you trying the mouse now? There it goes.
Okay. Okay, let me move my mouse. It's in a weird location. All right. Okay, so we're making this project with maps because I'm working on a little project. I'm actually writing a how-to book about paper weaving, and in conjunction, I'm making this project, which is a collaborative paper weaving and called Weaving the World Together. So some of you have sent me map strips. Thank you so much. And there's a link in the chat if you don't know what I'm talking about that you can send me map strips. I'm trying to get maps from all around the world that I'm going to weave. These are just some practice pieces. I'm not sure how it's going to look yet. And we're going to weave the world together, community project. So in addition to making art, I have always been fascinated with paper as a material, always, like since I was 20. And the ways that it can be manipulated. So I spend a good deal of time designing unique projects, and I feature these in my how-to books. And The Art of Papercraft is the latest how-to book, and it features 40 projects that you can make with a single sheet of paper, some designed by me and some designed by other artists. And then I also share the projects I design as well as guest artist projects in the Paper Year, which is my membership program that I started in January of 2021. And this is a program to inspire members with a technique and project each and every month. And in addition to gaining skills for working with paper, members become a part of this wonderful paper-loving community. I'm going to show you a couple highlights from the last couple of months. And please note, the paper year is open for registration now. This is the kickoff. And if you join now, you'll receive access to all of the projects. It's a growing library filled with past projects, and they're over 2 years worth now in the library. We made these envelope folding screens in January, which feature paper cutting through the envelope layers and then slipping another paper into the envelope pockets. And this project features a unique hinge structure, which allows it to be displayed in multiple ways, which you can see here. And I really encourage outside of the box thinking, and Terry Engelhardt made this screen. So she took that idea and used the hinges, but not envelopes. She used artwork that she had made to create this fantastic version of the project. Now, every quarter we have a surface design workshop, which is live on Zoom. And it's a participatory workshop with a guest artist. And these are 2-hour sessions. And our first workshop this year was with Linda Marshall of Washi Arts. And we explored momogami, which involves coating a paper with a thin paste called konnyaku and then crumpling it. And it's so much fun to see what everyone makes. We share what we're creating each month in the online community forum in Rizuku, which is the platform, the teaching platform that I use. In February, we explored natural armatures, which can be constructed with a variety of materials, ranging from found objects to basket making materials and things from nature. And once we made those armatures, we covered them with paper. Every quarter, we also have a guest artist who designs the monthly project. So this is different than the surface design that I just talked about. And in March, we had Gina Pacello share this wonderful spiral pleated altered book project with us. These are some of her designs using old floral and geometry books. And then here are some of the member explorations. By the way, the guest artists visit us at our monthly Zoom meetings, so we get a chance to learn more about their work, and they also give us tips and tricks about exploring the project. So there are 2 ways to join the paper year. All of this is outlined on the registration page, and that link is in the chat, along with a video. There's a video about the paper year there. But in brief, PDF subscribers receive just that, a PDF with instructions for the monthly project. And then all-in subscribers receive the PDF plus video instructions, a couple of monthly Zoom meetings online. And as you can see here, you pay by the month. Enrollment now is monthly only, but every January, end of the year, December, January, I open up for annual enrollment, and you can save a little money by doing that. So if you join by the month now, you can switch at the end of the year. And this is a subscription membership, so you're automatically billed each month, but you can cancel at any time. Here's what a couple of pages from a monthly PDF look like. These are available to download and print out, so you can save them. And then you also get a monthly video if you're in the all-in plan. You will have access to this wonderful online community as well, where we share our work. You can ask questions. We provide supportive feedback and share tips and tricks in the classroom. All-in plan members meet on Zoom twice a month. We have either a special guest at our monthly Zoom meeting, like a paper supplier. Kelsey Pike from Sustainable Papercraft is our next guest in May, or a surface design workshop instructor. And we also have 2-hour monthly open studio Zoom sessions where you can carve out time to complete the monthly project, and we spend time getting to know each other and share paper tips and tricks. So here's a peek at what we'll be doing during the second quarter of 2023, which begins on Monday, April 3rd. And we'll create a mini tunnel book in April. And then in May, we'll make this reverse piano hinge binding, which makes a cool album structure. And that might be a good album to house the collages we'll be doing with the next surface design workshop instructor, which is Melanie Mowinski, who wrote the book Collage Your Life. And yeah, so that's a little bit in a nutshell about the paper year. Registration's open now through April 8th. And I'll answer any questions you have, and then we will make the project. So Lori, can you stop the screen share, please?
Yes. Do you want them to drop the questions into the chat?
Yes, please. If you have any now, go ahead and type them, and at any time.
There was a question earlier about whether you would like old aeronautical maps, and I thought you might.
Yeah, I've received, I think I've received some navigational maps from the sea. I can't remember the name of those. So ocean, like Navy, but aeronautical would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love all kinds, any kind of map.
So what are the dates of the Red Cliff retreat?
The Red Cliff Paper Retreat is August 21st through 25th. And there's a link on my website in the menu bar. If you go under live classes. Yeah.
When you cancel paper year, do you still have access to the class that has been completed?
You do not. It's a membership, so you have to be a member to access. But you can print out all the PDFs, so that is something you can save before you cancel. Okay, great. So continue to ask questions if you have any. And here we go. So let's switch to my hands.
Mhm.
Let me get my view so I can see what you're seeing. Okay. So this is a fold that many of you probably have made. It's a Turkish map fold. And these are just some variations to show you. There is a little mini fold that you can make to put in the center. And I hope we'll have time to do that, but I have mine pre-folded just in case. But it's the same fold, so you'll know how to do it. All right, let me clear this off. And we're going to start with our map strip or whatever strip you have. It's 3 inches by 24 inches long. And you can see I've got some of the map folds in. It doesn't seem to affect it too much. I did try ironing this and they didn't fold out, but they do in some materials. And some maps are plastic now. The first one I tried, it didn't melt, it didn't ruin my iron, thankfully, but it crinkled up the map in a weird way, so I couldn't use it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to accordion fold this into 16 sections. And it doesn't matter whether you have your paper right side up. This is my right side, by the way, or wrong side, either way. And I like to do this method of accordion folding, so I'm going to show you as I go. I'm going to just bring one edge to the other, one short edge to the other, hold that in place so that they're lined up nicely, and then fold. Like to fold from the center out. So now I've got a double layer. And now I'm going to flip it just so this is a mountain fold. So if you're not familiar, a mountain fold looks like a mountain. And see if I hold it the other way, this looks like a valley. So that's a valley fold. And I'm going to take this mountain and I'm going to bring it up to my loose edge. So if you have a question, just put it in the chat. And I can slow down and repeat. And yes, this is being recorded and you will all get the recording later today, probably. And now I folded that folded edge up and now I have this loose edge. I'm going to fold that up as well to that same place. So I'm creating a pile.
Sorry,
yes.
Helen, their question is, where did the mountain start?
It was in the middle. Okay, so I folded this in half. Here's my mountain. I unfolded. I probably didn't say I unfolded. Okay, and now I bring that mountain up to the edge and then this loose. So I'm dividing in half each time. So now I've got four sections. You can see one of my little existing folds from the map is right there. That's okay. So now I've got a W. Now I'm going to divide it again in half to 8. So I like mountains. So I'm going to orient this. So my mountain, I've got 2 mountains. See that? So I'm just putting it down on my table. And then this, I'm going to change this valley to a mountain. There are different ways to do this. I'll show a couple different as I progress. Okay, so now I've got all mountains up and I'm going to bring the mountain and do the same thing. Each mountain comes up and I'm creating a pile of accordion folds. And then always at the end, I've got a loose end. So no mountain, but I want to bring that up. By the way, I mentioned this at the beginning. This ring is made with the same fold that we're going to do. And I'll explain it later, but this is in my book. It's a project in my book, The Art of Papercraft. Okay, so now I've got more accordions. I've got 8. And now we're going to go one more time down to 16. So now I've got four mountains here and 3 here. So I'm going to flip it so the more mountains are up. And let me just show you something I do sometimes to reverse those folds instead of doing it right now. So I'll just start with my first one as a mountain coming up to the top. And then as I go, I'll reverse this fold and make it into a mountain. And then I'll just make my pile. Sometimes I slide it down. Well, hang on. My next one's all queued up as a mountain already. Sometimes I slide down. I'm going to go off camera here with this, but you can use the edge of your table to reverse that fold. So I just rubbed it against the corner of my desktop. And then the next one's already a mountain. And then I've got to reverse this next one. And this one is a mountain. And then my final one is that loose end. Okay, so you should end up with a pretty neat pile that is, it's 1.5 inches by the 3 inches. So here's what it looks like. And why don't you just look up if you're done? I'll get an idea. Okay. All right, I'm just going to give you a moment to catch up. If you're fast and you want to go ahead and fold and you made a 1 by 8 inch strip, you're going to do the same exact thing with this one. So you could go ahead and do that. Yep. While we're waiting. Okay, now I'm going to show this fold just on a square of paper because we're going to do this in each of the square sections. So it'll be 2 of the accordion. So these are rectangles, but you see how this is a square. So we have 16 rectangular sections and 8 squares. And we need that middle fold. So that's why we went ahead and did it. But I'm just going to show an example. So this is my same size. And some of you already know how to do this. So I want to just show you the steps. So now we're going to start, and I'll just demonstrate and say it, but I'll say it again when we actually do it. So I'm going to have the display side or the front of my paper up. So mine is the polka dots is the front. And I'm going to fold it in half. No, wait, sorry. Fold it in half so that I hide the display side. And now I'm going to flip it. I'm going to unfold, flip it over, and I'm going to fold an X. So half the X, the other half. And then now the folds are all in the right position that they'll just want to go and do what I want them to do. Okay. So I'll do the same series on my actual map and I'll talk you through it. And then we're going to do that 8 times in each of our sections.
Somebody was saying they don't remember the square being on the materials list, but that's just for your.
No, I'm just showing you the fold. So it wasn't on the materials list. Right. Okay. I just wanted to pre-show you what we're doing. Okay. So you want your accordion fold face up, whatever the front of your, the front of your piece you're going to make. it doesn't matter. You know, it's just going to look different on the back. See, the back looks like this, the front looks like this. So either don't even worry about it, or you can worry about it. So I have my front up, and so I'm going to fold, I'm going to orient this way. So we're going to have to reverse some of these accordion folds. So I'm going to make that a valley fold. So I'm folding in half, front side to front side. And now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to do my X just in this square. So I'm going to fold point to point here, unfold, point to point here. And now these just automatically, I can gather these up into this triangle, and these two sides tuck in. This project is not in my book. But this is being recorded.
Mhm.
Okay, so I've got one of those, and now I'm just going to keep doing that. So my second accordion is in the right direction. No, it's not. Sorry. Flip back over, front side to front side. So I'm going to fold those together. And I have to do the same fold. It's a little tricky because I've got this on here now, but I can actually use this as an anchor to hold. And I know you can't see my fold so well, but my fold's right here. And I'm going to make that X. So I'm kind of lining up the side, lining up this. And so there's one half of the X and the other half. And now these are folded, pre-folded, and they'll just pop right in. Oops, I think I did it wrong. I forgot to flip it over. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. This is like so confusing. Hopefully you're just zipping away and doing this. I forgot to flip it over. Now, because I did, and it's good to see the mistake because it might happen to you. So basically, you're doing the same thing over and over, and these are going to accordion fold all together and create a nice long snake of these folds. So does anybody have a question? I'm going to just keep going and talking.
Sally says, seeing you have trouble is very reassuring.
Oh, ask my
True.
paper year members. I make mistakes all the time. Even wrote myself a whole list of directions. It doesn't matter. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to reverse this fold. I've got my display side up. I'm going to flip it over. Now I remember. And now if you hold these all together, you actually see your square. So you see how this will, I can just line up the side and that top edge and get a perfect fold. And then I'll go the other way. And now, because I did it the right way, that folds nicely. June. Okay. Hopefully you first accordion folded everything into the 16 sections, and 2 of the sections should make the square, every 2 sections. So now I have to reverse that fold, flip over, and oh yeah, remember what I did. Hold those all together so then I can see this edge. And then unfold. Fold that. And then pull those in. Rachel's having a problem with creeping. I'm not sure. There could be a little creep, and that means that everything is like sliding over a little bit and not directly on top. I find that most papers are pretty forgiving. So when you have them all stacked like this, you can kind of force and press. And if you have a bone folder, you could even crease and kind of smush it into the right place. How did I make the X folds on the small piece of paper? When I folded the 1 by 24, it does not make 16 squares. It makes 16 rectangles. That's right. 2 rectangles equals the square. So you should have 8 squares.
But the tiny strip should be 1 by 8, not
Oh
1.
yeah, not 1 by 24. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the large sheet of paper was 3 by 24. The small sheet, it's proportional. So it's 1 by 8 inches. So if you had 24, that was too long. Okay.
You can make 3 of them.
Yes. So I'm going to keep going. Fold in half, a valley fold from the front side.
So the question is, do you flip every time? With every square, are you flipping?
I am.
Okay.
So I'm starting with the display side, my front side up. I'm making sure I have a valley fold. So see, I'm folding, reversing, or whether if that fold is already in the right place or it's a valley. And then I flip it over. And now what I'm doing is I'm actually tucking my whole set of folds to the back so I can really see my square. This is something I just figured out. And now I'll bring this up on the back side, fold, and fold my X. And then I can gather these and bring them in. Okay, now I flip back over to the front side and I reverse that fold. So that happens every time because it's every other one actually. So there's a fold here and then, so I have to reverse that fold. It's a valley, but then I flip it over and it looks like a mountain. I tuck all of these that I folded behind and I do my X. And then I can pop those in. So here's what it's looking like, the whole series of these on one side. And then on this side, you see the facets. It's called a faceted map ring. So these are like facets or the sides of crystals. I've got a little tear in my paper here. It's sticking out and bugging me. Okay, so I've got 2 more to go. So I will reverse. I've got this on the front side again. Make that a valley. Flip over, tuck my stack behind. Make the X. And then I'll pop these in. And then I'm to my last square. So again, I'll reverse that fold, flip over, tuck behind. Fold my X. And pop those in. Okay, is anyone still having a problem? Do you want me to show you that fold again on just a square? Or are we all kind of getting it, hopefully? Okay, I don't see any questions. So I'm going to go ahead while people are finishing. I'm going to fold my 1 by 8 inch. Okay, slow repeat. Well, okay, I'll do that quick first. So here is this is just a section. So you'll do this on all of these, but you can see this paper is the same size. This is 3 by 3 inch origami paper. So I have it face up and I fold in half. Hamburger to hot dog. And then I open it up, I flip it over, and I fold diagonally. One way, open that up, diagonally. The other way, open that up. And then the folds are all ready in the right directions to just be able to collapse this. Okay, you can even, there's a finger poke thing, but I don't know. Anyways, so this is the end result. This is 1. And then we just do them down all of ours.
So there's 2 questions in the chat. One is, did you tuck something? And I'm thinking maybe that relates to when it becomes
Pushing
a
the sides
ring.
in.
Yeah, well, when it
Well-
becomes a ring, maybe something
Well,
gets,
we're gonna do the ring. That's
Right.
coming.
the other question is, do I really need the mountain folds?
If you're getting this result, it doesn't matter whether it's mountain or valley. So that's a hard question to answer. I'm going to show how the end finishes. We're getting there. I just want to make sure people are able to make this whole thing. I see, Leslie, you completely lost me. So I don't know what to say about that, other than I'll just do it one more time with a square.
And,
So
and this is being recorded, so everyone
Right.
will get the recording that you can pause and
right.
back up and everything.
Yeah. So I fold in half this way. Open up. I flip it over. This is important that I have this one fold is the opposite way. So this is a mountain now of these other 2 folds, because that's what makes the next fold so easy. So I'll make these 2 folds. I'm always unfolding in between. And then it just once the folds are all in the correct directions, that I can fold this up, tuck these 2 sides in, and squash it as a triangle.
So somebody
Okay.
is asking if you have to be a perfectionist.
As good as you can. It's going to work. It'll just be a little less perfect if you're not a perfectionist.
But the matching the corners, matching the edges will make you so much happier in the end. It's worth the second or 2 to make sure that
Yeah.
everything matches.
But I know if you haven't done this before, it is hard to match those all. But it's good if you can.
May I
So-
say something?
Sure.
I picked a map that's the same on both sides, and maybe somebody else did that, so it makes it a little more difficult, but it was great fun.
Okay.
I had to let go perfection in order to just keep rolling.
Get the folds. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you get the feel of it under your fingers.
Right.
Yeah. I'll do another.
And this is a model. You're making a model. Okay. This
Mhm.
is not going to be perfect the first time. Mine wasn't. So I've made several of these. Okay. So, I'm not going to do this whole small piece because I have one already made and I want to keep moving. But, you know, if you're making the small one, it's the exact same, but just small. So you're folding it up into the 16 sections, you know, going from half to half to half. And then you end up with something that looks like this. So it's the same, it's small squares that are 1 by 1 inch that get that same fold that we've been doing. And it folds up into a mini triangle. Okay. So there are options to finishing this. So the simplest option, and let me just see, raise your hand if you're done. You've got this all folded. Okay, good. I see a lot of you do. Great. Okay, so here's the simplest. No glue, no adhesive, nothing. You just bring it into the round, stretch it a little bit, bring it into the round, and just watch what I'm doing. I am going to put this set of folds on top of this. And it's a little tiny bit tricky to make sure that they really are overlapping correctly. So once I flip it, I'm going to flip it over and see. So I did not get it right. So this has to stretch out. No, it's a little hard to see with everything going on in my map, but this is exactly underneath. So one panel is capping the other one with all of the folds. Okay, and with most papers that actually stays pretty well. And you could put some double-sided tape or glue in strategic points if you really want it to join completely in the center. But just this is a fun form to explore. You can actually turn it inside out and flip it around. So it's just kind of a cool object to play with before you glue it or after you glue it.
Question, by
Yes.
capping, do you mean inserting?
Well, yes. It's a language. So let me do it from the back side. So the one goes into the other, and all of the folds are
It's like it's
one on
nested.
top of the other. It's nested. Yeah. So I'm calling the one on top the cap. This is even an interesting form like this, standing up. Now, if you want to put the small one inside, you have to do something different because we've lost a section here. So now instead of the 8 squares, we only have 7 because one's on top of the other. So we've made it smaller. So when I do 8, when I do when I put this inside, I glue 2 edges together, or tape. You have to use tape. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm bringing this into the round. I want the tape on the, I'm going to call this the back side, the inside. And I'm just going to take Scotch tape because I have it on dispenser. I can tear it easily. But you can use artist tape. And I have those 2 edges. So again, see, I'm just bringing these 2 edges together. And I'm going to tape over those edges. This is important. I don't want to use double-sided tape for this. And I know double-sided tape was on my materials, but that was more for holding things together. So I only want the tape, it's creating a hinge so that on this side, this still flexes. So just making this seam the same as all of the others. And then now I have this little guy, and I'm going to connect this one in the opposite way. So let me show you this one. So this little folded form is the upside down of this form. So it actually doesn't. I think you could, no, you want it going around like this. And I've got already some double-sided tape on here. And you're going to connect those two panels, those two triangles. I had undid this, so maybe my tape lost its sticky. Let me see. Okay, so that is connected. Yeah, it's a little small at this point to be able to flip it inside out. So I like to tape it in this direction. And then you squeeze it down. So look at the form it makes when it's hard to hold this. So it makes this form. And it does look the same. It looks faceted on this side, but we want the unfaceted side to nest inside. I'm getting mixed up, which is which. Okay. So now this will nest inside of my other one, and my larger one. And you have to just take a minute to get all of the sections, to get one section into each. Okay, missed one. There we go. And now I would put glue on the back of all of those and force it down. Sorry, you can't see. But you want to practice and make sure you're getting your sections into the right place. And then you would put glue on the back of these and push it in. Okay, before I do that, I want to know, does anybody need to see anything again? So really you can have this form, you can overlap the two, and you can put a center inside. Those are the variations.
They're asking you to join the large piece again.
Yeah. And just cut this. The taped or the overlap?
Both.
Both. Okay. All right. So here's how I overlap. I just stretch it out so I've got enough room to move and everything's flexing nicely. And this one square that's folded up is going to go on top of the other one. And if you can see all the folds. I've got it open nicely now. I'm going to actually just tuck that right over and then check on the back to make sure that it's inserted properly or nested. And that is that. And then if I want to tape it, I'm going to, I want to butt these up rather than overlapping. So these will butt up next to each other. And then I have to flip it because I want to get it onto this side. And I have those held exactly overlapping. And I'm going to tape over the edge. So that the joint looks the same as all the other ones.
So there's a lot of questions about overlapping versus taping and the pros, why you do one over the other.
The taping makes all of these little sections fit in. So I tape it when I put a center inside. You probably could do it with either one. You would just have two sections that are not opened up and put inside, because you lose, remember we had 8 squares, so you only have 7 when you overlap. And so, and you have 8 when you tape. So that's the reason. I'm not going to say it won't work. You probably could force the little piece in and make it work with either one, but that's the difference. So this
Or
has,
if you overlap the little one and overlap the big one,
Yeah.
then you would have a 7 section on both, right?
yeah, that's a good idea, right?
Mhm.
So see, these things are so versatile. Yeah, if you overlap them both, I would glue them so that they're not just overlapping, because when you need to, yeah, there's gonna a lot of popping that would happen. So I would just glue the overlapping, especially on the small one. I think earlier maybe you saw it pop. It's like a spring. So yeah, now I would just put some glue. Make sure you have it oriented properly with all these sections up. And I put some glue on these all of the little segments. It doesn't have to be everywhere. And then I'll tuck that in there. And again, I'm making sure that I'm spreading them out into one into each section. Mm. Yeah, you could totally overlap and overlap. That would work. Okay. So once you have that all together like this, it no longer collapses. But some of these forms will collapse, which is something I love too. Of course, it's not working for me now. Yeah, here. So
Somebody's
this
suggesting
collapses flat.
that a toothpick during nesting could help.
Of course, there's all kinds of tricks.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And make sure it really sticks. Mine's coming apart a little bit. All right, sweet. So we're getting close to the top of the hour. I'd love to see what some of you made and take a couple of screenshots. So can you see? I see Gail has a question. Do you see? Mine's not sticking well. I need to use PVA or my glue stick is just lame. So it's this way. It's the opposite way. So the facets are on the bottom and the facets are on the top of the one I'm gluing into. So the big one is like this, and the other one has all of these little folds showing. So really this, when you flip it over, it looks the same. So it's just one is the other way, inverted. But it's totally fun. It's a fun object without the center as well. And yeah, you can roll it around and see, here's the shape on a larger scale of the mini one. So that's the upside down.
Somebody's asking you to explain the ring. Oh,
This ring?
your ring. Yes. Sorry, I wasn't getting.
Okay, yeah. Oh, and Karen's saying she used, or Karen, Tyvek, and it's too slippery. Good point. Yeah, some papers are a little slippery, and Tyvek, I could see that. So this ring is a project in my book, Playing with Paper, if you happen to have it. And the difference with this is it's not all one sheet, and the pieces are circles. I actually made a kit once. I don't have these anymore. But so circles of paper that are folded the same way. So you fold it in half and then you do the X. It's a little tricky because it's on a circle, and you make 8 of those, and then you adhere them. This is vellum, so I use double-sided tape because vellum doesn't take glue as well. And I challenge you guys to make one with a map because it'd be really cool. This is like a 1.5 inch a circle diameter. You put them all together, and then there is a my magnet is stuck on with tape that's not very strong. So I've got a magnet, and this is a ring from a jewelry place. It's called Nunn Design, Nunn, but they're a distributor. I got these I got them from the distributor, but I had to buy a lot of them. I got it at a Collage in Portland, Oregon, an art supply store. I cut a circle that I glued the form onto, and then I put it onto the ring with a magnet, one of those strong magnets. So just another application of this same fold. Okay, let's we're going to be out of time, so let's I'm going to go to gallery. Let's see what you guys made. So if you can hold up what you made, and if a couple of you want to share, you could raise your hand, use that reactions button, raise hand. I see Elaine's. Beautiful. You got the center done too. Nice. June has a fun form. Kathy. Sarah, Patty. Wow, look at all of these. I'm going to take a couple of shots. Does anybody want to raise your hand and show us up close and personal? Do you see anyone, Lori?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I'm doing
Roberta. Hi,
screenshots.
Roberta. You're taking screenshots. Great. I'm going to spotlight Roberta.
Okay.
Roberta is an old friend from Portland. It's good to see you.
Hi, Helen. It's so good to
Hi.
be. So I used an old US map, and I realized, oh, it was so old. Sometimes I did iron it.
Okay.
So felt like really good about this in original form.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used the same map paper for the inner ring, and just so it was a different color, I did use a blue marker to just change the color of the paper. So then the paper got even more like worn. So I feel like a crisper paper for the center would be good. I'm just sort of playing with like, okay, this is what it will look like when I kind of figure out how to, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
but I was just in the middle of deciding, oh, do I want to tape it? Do I want to nest it? And I love your directions. They're so good. And the language of paper too. Some of the things like nesting or hamburger to hot dog. I just love the language of the paper. So thank you. This is so much fun.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
Let's see.
Mindy Shapiro, you are, unmute yourself. You'll pop to the top so Lori can highlight you, and your video is off.
Well,
There
that
you
doesn't help if wait a minute. I'm going to also get rid of my background so that you can actually see it. All right. Whoops.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. So much technology. Okay.
There you go.
All right. There you go. All right.
Oh,
So
look at you.
yeah, but you know what I found? I wanted to like give up right away, except that I didn't, which is good because I actually did it. And I really appreciated your point about, and I feel this way when I teach, which I do a lot, which is that the first one you do is really like the practice.
Right.
So yeah. So, and being such a visual learner, and tactical, it's like, yeah, I just got to get my hands and do this a bunch of times. So anyway, thank
Yeah.
you. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and FYI, the paper year, which is this membership program, all of the videos are pre-recorded. So you do that all at your own pace, and then you can hop into the classroom to ask questions if you're having trouble. So there's no pressure, no time pressure like we had today. And I always say to make a model even then, because I'm not like just winging it when I make the video. I have to do it several times and figure out all the mistakes. I try to share the mistakes sometimes. So because we often run into the same stumbling blocks. Okay, what other questions do we have? Roberta's asking if there'd be another Red Cliff paper retreat. Usually every August, yes. So next 2024. Anybody else have questions? Thanks so much for coming. It was really fun. And if you have map strips left over that you want to send me, the information is in a link in the chat. With the recording, I'll send all of the links. So you'll be able to find that link there. Are there any maps that I don't want? I just don't want brittle. So since you mentioned that, no brittle maps. I'm weaving them, I'm not folding them, so it's a little less critical, but yeah. Yeah, and thanks so much for coming. Mindy, can I share the what again? The number, the link?
The hashtag.
The hashtag. Oh yeah, post what you made today on Instagram. Hashtag Helen Hebert, HIEBERT. And you can also hashtag the paper year, all one word. Thank you. Penelope, you could also make Christmas ornaments, put cookies in the center. Sure. And this form, this is like a paper flower form. It's just put together a little differently. So this fold can go in many, many different directions. Janet turned hers into a flower. Tacky glue is good for the centerpiece. Thanks, Yvonne. Yeah, thanks for coming. Jay is asking if I purchase the $10 program, do I have access to chat with someone if I run into problems? Not within the program, but you can join my Facebook group called the Paper Studio. All kinds of people are in that, paper year members, non-paper year members. So you could ask a question there. Thanks for sending maps, everyone. There's some are coming from Romania, Hungary, France. Yay. Marcia's asking, Delorme, I guess that's the company, makes map books, so the pages are double-sided. Is this something you can use? Yes, it's fun to have a double-sided paper. We're technically done, so you guys can leave if you need to. Some people are saying they're leaving. Thanks for coming. Yeah, the form is reversible, which is awesome. And yeah, that was fun, guys. I look forward to seeing your posts on Instagram. I welcome you to join the paper year if you're not a member already, and see you around. I do one of these free Zooms every quarter. Okay, stop
Thank
recording.
you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.